Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Amazon Web Services, and we're going to help you become a super savvy cloud shopper. We're going to break down all the different ways you can pay for your cloud servers, and most importantly, how you can save some serious cash.
So, if you're working in the cloud, you almost definitely know all about Amazon EC2, right? It's that magical service that gives you all the computing power you could ever want in just a matter of minutes. You can launch as many virtual servers as you need, whenever you need them.
And look, that kind of flexibility is absolutely incredible for building pretty much anything. But just paying that default out-of-the-box price? It's not always the smartest play for your wallet. That monthly bill can sometimes be, well, a bit of a shocker.
Which brings us to the most important question of all. Could you be getting the exact same performance, but for way, way less money? The answer is almost certainly a big yes. So, let's figure out how. Okay, let's kick things off with the option everybody knows, the default, pay-as-you-go. This is what AWS calls on-demand instances. Think of it as the sticker price you see when you first go to launch a server.
The best way to think about this is like hailing a taxi. It is perfect when you need a ride right now for a trip, but you're not sure how long it's going to be. You pay for exactly what you use, right down to the second, and there are absolutely zero long-term commitments.
So this model is really the go-to for anything with spiky, irregular traffic that you just can't afford to have go down. It's awesome for your development and testing environments, or for that brand new app where traffic is still a big question mark. It's your flexible foundation, but it really shouldn't be your only tool.
But what if your server usage is predictable? What if you have a workload that's just humming along 24/7? Well, this is where we get into our first big money-saving strategy, reserved instances.
If on-demand is like hailing a taxi, think of this as leasing a car. If you know you have to drive to work every single day for the next year, you're not going to call a taxi each time, right? No way. You lease the car, because it's a much better deal. Same idea here. You commit to 1 or 3 years, and in return, you lock in a massive discount.
And we are not talking about chump change either. You can save up to a whopping 72% compared to those on-demand prices, and that's all just for planning ahead for the compute power you already know you're going to need.
Okay, now for all you bargain hunters out there, for those of you who love a good deal and are okay with a little bit of risk, let's talk about the single most aggressive cost-saving option that AWS offers.
Welcome to the wonderful world of spot instances. Here's the deal. AWS has all this extra spare computing power just sitting around unused, and they are willing to sell it to you for a ridiculously low price. This is where a good cost strategy becomes a great one.
The process is a lot like flying standby for a flight. You get an unbelievable price, but there's a catch. You might get bumped if someone who paid full price needs your seat. With Spot, your instance runs and runs until AWS needs that capacity back. When they do, they give you a quick 2-minute warning to wrap things up.
But the reward for dealing with that little bit of uncertainty is just staggering. We're talking potential savings of up to 90% off on-demand prices. That's insane. This makes it absolutely perfect for any job that can be interrupted. Things like big data analysis, batch processing, rendering farms, anything that can be stopped and started without a total meltdown.
But sometimes saving money isn't the #1 priority. Sometimes what you really need is total control, or maybe intense security. Or you have to meet some very specific compliance rules for, say, a software license.
For those times, AWS offers dedicated hosts. Now, this is like renting your own private charter bus for a big trip. You get the entire vehicle to yourself, nobody else is on board, and you are in complete control of the environment. It is a physical server that is all yours.
And it is super important not to confuse these with dedicated instances. They sound alike, but they're very different. As you can see, with a dedicated host, you get the entire physical server. With a dedicated instance, you just get your own instance on hardware that might have other customers on it. That little distinction is everything when it comes to strict compliance.
So we've covered the retail price, the long-term lease, the standby flight, and the private bus. With all these different ways to pay, how in the world do you choose the right one for what you're doing?
Well, here's the absolute most crucial point. You have to match the purchasing model to your specific workload. There is no single best option. It's always a trade-off between cost and flexibility. And as you can see, each model has a very clear sweet spot.
So if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this. Please, do not just stick with the default on-demand price for everything you do.
The real savings, the pro-level savings, come from using a smart mix. You use reserved instances for your stable, always-on foundation, and then you layer spot instances on top for all your interruptible tasks. That right there is how you truly optimize your cloud spend.
And that's our look at the different EC2 purchasing options. Hey, if this explainer helped clear things up for you, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into complex topics. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.